very active in the small end of small and medium business, and Linux is an extremely powerful tool to go after Microsoft. Our experience is that if Microsoft wins the operating system, then they get the middleware. A box flogger, as we call them, typically gets the hardware at a point or two of margin, and the services go to someone who works out of their mother's basement. If we can get in front of the customer with Linux, we have a chance to derail that entire process. And we find if we win with Linux, then it's easy to bundle with IBM hardware. It's easy to get IBM middleware in the process, again, WebSphere, DB2, Domino, and we keep the services. So we see it as very powerful on that end. In our larger customers, the ability to run Linux in an LPAR stops the erosion of applications over to Microsoft and really adds value to the IBM eServer story, and we find makes our customers more loyal to IBM, and as a result of their being able to handle the entire workload.
Our experience with Linux has been in several of our customers. It has started out as an edge service, firewall, domain name services, but our customers are now starting to accept it for core services, database function, and other business applications.
I think the teaming with other IBM business partners allows us to enter into companies where by ourselves we wouldn't be able to get into. It keeps LRS from having to invest too much in areas where we're not going to sell a lot of solutions. Maybe the one-off solutions allows us to get into customers that otherwise we wouldn't be able to.
In the large university where we were at, involved with the life sciences piece, they were actually looking at a Sun implementation running on Solaris. And they were quite skeptical about any aspect of using the Linux platform. It was something new and something different for them. We got involved with the life sciences people from IBM, actually had a number of PhDs on the telephone in a meeting that we had with them in a seminar. And after the seminar was over with, the customer pretty much said that there's no way that they're going to go except for IBM P-Series and running Linux.
It is clear from the commitment that IBM has made to the Linux environment, both in dollars and people, that they've encompassed all the aspects of the Linux requirements for the customer, which include performance, which include security, and most important, includes support for the product and an ongoing vision that the client can accept that Linux is the operating system to make a commitment to, and it's safe, and it's a good bet.
IBM is very big in Linux and open source and so on and so forth. I think that is the wave of the future. That people are tired of proprietary software, and companies are saying, I don't want to be tied to one specific technology. I want to be able to swap, and I want to be able to take this wherever the world is going. Linux is a great platform. First of all, it's open source, and it's open architecture, so you can literally take anything and everything and make it integrate with your product. It also saved us a ton of resources in terms of human resources. We didn't have to create a lot of the products because it was already available out in the open source market. What we did was took all these products, componentized it into ours, and we created proprietary software around it to create a full email server.
We were excited to hear IBM embrace Linux. We believe that Linux is an extremely strong operating system and probably the best operating system to be deploying in the server environment. The fact that Linux offers open standards for us as a business to be writing on top of is very important to us as well as to our customers. Rocksteady chose Linux as an operating system because Linux offers scalability and performance like no other operating system we've seen.
Our plans for Linux are to provide the system software to take Linux right into the heart of the commercial enterprise. So whereas traditionally, and even for some of our existing customers, Linux has been out at the edge or used only for web servers or that sort of thing, we're really looking at being able to take Linux right into the heart of the big databases, the mission-critical transaction processing, run your Fortune 500 company with Linux.
I think what's noteworthy with E1 Group on Linux is that our company was formed 3.5 or 4 years ago, and out of the box we were ready to go with Linux. In fact, our very first customer, Omaha Steaks, went live on Linux. Since then, we've had a lot of success with it. It's very stable. It allows us one common development environment, and as an application vendor, we need to standardize on at least one application, or operating system. We've done that with Linux.
Customers absolutely love the story that we're telling, which is we can drop your overall total cost of ownership for your IT infrastructure, in combination with things like X Series and Blade Center, by 50 to 75% compared to the traditional big system approach to computing.
We had a school district closed recently that purchased a software product that only ran on Linux. We'd never done that before. So we brought it in-house and did all the imaging and loading the software and whatever in-house. And my IT guys came back to me and said, there must be something wrong because this went so easy. I mean, they were just really amazed at how quickly that they were able to do the installation. Came out bug-free, error-free, and then we rolled it out to the customer, and it was a very good experience for us.